What's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So, Trinidad, Tobago, Caribbean, we need to talk. We need to talk. So let's get straight into it. Let's go straight in. There's a wave of excitement. There's a wave of excitement in Trinidad, especially Trinidad. Not so much Tobago, I suppose, but especially in Trinidad right now, sweeping across the country. The UNC won by a landslide. They dominated. I predicted this based on what I saw happening globally. This was no surprise to me. The only exception being recently Canada, a liberal government staying in charge. But that's another topic. We talk about that another time. So people are celebrating in Trinidad and they're screaming, finally change. After how many years of the PNM, we're heading in a different direction. We see change. We're excited for change. But I'm here to tell you that celebration will be short-lived if we do not act now. Those of you who've seen my previous videos, I told you that this was going to be a protest vote. And I don't blame people for voting the way they did. After so many years of the PNM and how much they failed to deliver on crime rate, etc., etc. You don't need to regurgitate that. Those of you who watch my videos see me talk about this all the time. But I guarantee you, this is going to be short-lived because crime will still be high. Mark my words, I want you to revisit this video in 6 months' time or a month's time or a year time. Crime will still be high. Murders will still continue to rise. We had 624 or 630 last year, a record high. It's still going to continue to rise. Your paychecks, which is what this is all about, your paychecks won't stretch any further. You're not going to see any pay rises. Believe me, you are not going to see a pay rise. And if you do get a pay rise, inflation is going up, grocery prices is going up, food prices is escalating in America. We import 80% of our food from America, so we are going to see an escalation in food price. Healthcare, you're not going to see any improvement there either, right? The UNC said if everybody wins, their mantra was if we wins, everybody wins. That's a powerful line they ran on. If UNC wins, everybody wins. Well, they won. They did indeed win. So let's hold them to account. Let's hold them to it. This is your opportunity to hold them to it. Sadly, I do not have much faith in them. Like I've already said, I do not see much change coming from this government. The harsh truth is, I, myself, I've combed through their manifesto. I've gone through their manifesto. There is nothing substantial in it that promises any real shift in power. Any real shift in power. Any real shift in the wealth in Trinidad or the opportunities for ordinary citizens. They are simply going to continue doing the same thing. No bold plans to tax the super wealthy. No bold plans to tax the super wealthy in Trinidad. This needs to be done. The cash in Trinidad is being hoarded by the super wealthy, the foreign investors. That money comes in, or they come into the country, they extract the natural resources and they leave. And we tax them stupid amounts like BP being taxed 3%. No strategy to make foreign investors pay their fair returns. When a company like BP making 1.5 billion last year in Trinidad, paying 3% in tax, 45 million of 1.5 billion, that is unacceptable. And I'm trying to be nice with my words here. It's beyond unacceptable. We need transparency. There is no transparency in our government. I asked you before in one of my previous videos to go and Google how much money BP makes in Trinidad per year. I guarantee you will not find it. I have my resources and my sources to find this information that I'm relaying out to you. Anyone who wants to rebut anything I have to say, please do so. But show me where you get your evidence from. We have no pathway in Trinidad at the minute for self-sufficient, to be self-sufficient. When it comes to food, when it comes to energy, when it comes to finance. We need to be self-sufficient. I know I sound like I'm regurgitating a lot of what I've said before, but I want this to land and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. So what are we really celebrating with this new government, with this UNC win? It is indeed a protest vote. It's a protest vote, I'm telling you. People were angry. And yes, you can argue they were rightfully angry to vote the way they did. Because let's face it, the PNM didn't do much in the last 10 years or so. But now is the time for you, the people who voted them in, to hold them to account. The slogan they push, make them live by it. If everybody wins, then we need to see it, feel it. We need to measure it. We need to know what they promise they deliver on. I cannot see this happening. This is a frustration. This is why I come on here, and it sounds like my frustration levels are quite high, because I do not see it happening. I do not see anything in their manifesto that suggests any real change is about to come to Trinidad. So I want us to take a moment now to look at what's happened, or what's been happening globally, right? Let's take a moment to look at some countries and what they've done to address exactly the same issues. So you look at a place like Dubai, an oil-rich place like Dubai. They use their oil wealth to build a diversified economy. They use their oil wealth to build a diversified economy. So tourism, logistics, tech. They do not rely on the West anymore. And they did this in a very, very short amount of time. We have all the resources to do the same, but we don't. We keep relying on America. Saudi Arabia, they've launched a vision for 2030 to reduce dependency on oil, foreign labor, and US influence. And they are investing heavily in renewables, tech, and global trade on their own terms. Even Qatar, places like Qatar, a tiny Gulf state, they currently own parts of the European banks, airports, and sports franchise all over Europe. They turned natural gas into true sovereignty. They turned their natural resources into true sovereignty. We do not have sovereignty in Trinidad and Tobago. We have sovereignty in name only. I don't want to keep regurgitating the same thing. I've talked about this on many of my previous videos. We are not a sovereign nation. So these nations use their resources strategically. Trinidad and Tobago has gas, it has oil, it has land, we have talent, an abundance of talent, we have sunlight, we have culture, we have everything in place. But what we lack is the political will, and we do not have enough pressure from you, the public, on these political parties to enforce real change. Whether that be through ignorance, whether that be through the fact that you really do not know what goes on, or you feel helpless in the situation. I understand if you feel helpless. What am I going to do? You look at yourself and think, what could I do? I'm only one person. Yes, that may be true. But if we came together as a collective, then we could do a lot and we could hold them to account. This is why I created this network. This is why I created this channel. Please like and subscribe. So here is what I believe we must demand. Going on from my previous video, here is what I believe we must demand. A wealth tax. Let the elites finally pay their fair share. Not 3% like BP paid last year. 3% of 1.5 billion. 45 million. Not 3%. Let them pay their fair share. This is the things we need to do. We need an independent anti-corruption unit. No more self-policing by political parties. We need someone independent who would look at what goes on with the money when we do eventually decide to tax the wealth and bring it back to the people. We need transparency. public transparency. We need this ASAP, a national platform showing where every tax dollars in Trinidad, every tax dollar in Trinidad goes to. We need to see it. Hold your government to account and ask them to see everything. Where is the money going to? We need to invest in agriculture and manufacturing. You saw me talk about this in the last video. We are relying on imports. 80% of our food comes from Trinidad via America through imports. That's a national security crisis. We need energy diversification. Solar wind farm, hydro. We need to diversify our energy resources and stop relying. This is where the world's going, by the way. You look at China. China is huge on renewable energy. Huge on renewable energy. So using the sun to power your TV, everything in your house through putting a solar, whatever on your house, whatever they use. I'm not an expert on it, but this is where we need to be looking. This is where we need to go. So please, this is your chance to use your voice, and your voice speaks louder than theirs. If we did it as a collective, if you turn up to push back and ask the hard question and demand real results, hold these people to account, hold them to the words that they say. We can't afford to keep sitting back and hoping that someone else would do it. We have to do it as a collective. Because if we don't, this moment will pass again and nothing will change. And 5 years from now, you will still be struggling while the people at the top keep laughing at you, looking down at you and saying, oh, they're going to vote for us again, while they keep laughing at you and cashing in. And we are at the bottom doing nothing about it. So please, guys, just don't just vote and hope for the best. Don't just vote and hope for the best. Demand, challenge, organize, hold power accountable. This is why, again, I created this channel. If there's enough of us on here, we could have a voice and hold them accountable. This is our country. This is our future. Let's make sure it's one worth living. I'm fed up with just surviving or people just surviving. I'll be honest, I'm good. I worry about the people in Trinidad and Tobago. Anyway, I'd end the message here. I'd end the video here. Thank you if you stayed tuned to the end. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Please get us to 10,000. That's the aim. Get us to 10,000 subs. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mom. Tell your dad. Come and join us here at Trinidad Empowerment Network. If you resonate with the message, thank you. And I'll see you guys on the next video. For now, much love. God bless. Take care. Peace.